Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question today, a very interesting question. This is kind of a man question here. So if you're interested in this type of topics, you can check out my playlist on becoming a better man and attracting women, which all men should be able to do. But this is sort of related here. And this question this is about aging. This is from Sajad, I believe. Sajad is his name. Anyway, he says here, Dear Mr. John, I like Mr. John. All right, Mr. John. All right, Dear Mr. John, first of all, thank you for your videos. I am by no means a shy or socially awkward person. People actually like to be with me, and I can crack a smile to almost anyone and make friends easily. Well, that's good, okay? But I will say that doesn't necessarily mean, when I hear this a lot of times, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're bold, because there's a difference. But let's go on here. So definitely not a problem being described here as this. But here comes the big problem. He says, I've heard many times and he's got in parentheses directly, that I'm not physically attractive. Being bullied as a child a lot. I try to max out everything I can and not give a fuck, and I'm actively approaching women and try to better myself every day, okay? Since I'm young now, 20, I can still get away and fake it. My biggest fear is that after a few years, when I'm older, I will look even worse, receding hairline and all that crazy stuff. And since I'm very short, it wouldn't really go together. Whenever I look at people all around me and see how good looking they are, even when they are old, I get this terrible feeling of jealousy and bitterness, and I want to end my life. This is some serious shit here, okay? Why in this goddamn short life that I got has this to be me? Whenever I see a picture of myself, I picture a slightly older version of me, and I just want to cry. These thoughts are making me crazy, and I just keep thinking about this day after day. I hope you understand what my main point is, and to make a video about this. Thanks for everything. So, I mean, this is tough. This is tough. My heart goes out to you, man. Like, honestly, like, I can see what you're struggling with. And I'm going to admit to you, I mean, I have felt this way at times, right? I was picked on as a kid. I was kind of a dorky looking kid for sure, right? I mean, I wore some dorky stuff. I just looked dorky. I was non-athletic, and people made fun of me for sure, right? In elementary school and whatnot, even a little bit in high school, till I started lifting weights and started fucking kicking people's asses. But that's a different story. So anyway, my point is this, is that, or I don't know if there's really a point here, is I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of us have been there. Not all of us, right? Some of us had different childhood experiences and didn't have this happen. But I mean, I think a lot of this, again, you didn't send me a picture, right? If you sent me a picture, maybe I'd have a little bit of a different opinion. But I think a lot of this is in your head, right? I mean, a lot of this is just conditioning, and it's in your head, right? And you could do what you can do, right? For the most part, right? And I don't know, like, how much you guys really weigh heavily on looks. A lot of you guys, and I'm telling you, right? I mean, I know a lot of people, okay, and especially since I started doing YouTube videos and people started discovering me that have different connections in, the pickup community and all these kind of these things. And I've hung out with some of these guys and stuff, and some of these guys are decent looking, but some of them are not. And they still do just as well, right? And I've seen them do it. I've seen them in action, right? So what I'm saying here, and just even from my own personal experience, right? I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say that, I've got some pretty good attributes, but I've looked like shit and had success earlier in my life for sure, just based on confidence alone, and that's the key thing. Is so, but this is what concerns me, my friend, is that your confidence is taking a hit, right? And that's the thing, is like, you got to realize, like, why do you care? Why do you care about being good looking, right? And I know it's kind of an obvious question, but you got to really like go into your own psychology, and you got to do this with a lot of things. And I had to find this deficiency in myself, right? I had to say, like, there was a very decent period of my life where I really wanted to prove myself, where I really wanted to prove that I could attract women, that women would find me attractive. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the rejection of growing up, of being picked on in school and stuff. And I spent, you know, definitely some time making it, like figuring it out, like making it happen. And what I learned from that was that, I mean, yes, I built a good physique. That's very true. But, you know, not a huge, I mean, and I got a good haircut and I got some good clothes, you know, it's like, but those were the things I could control, right? That I, of course I changed everything that I could that made sense to me. But what I learned from that was that it really wasn't necessarily the looks. I mean, yes, you got to do the things that you can do to control, that you can control. But what I learned from that whole experience and going through that was that, man, it was really about the status. It was really about the confidence. It was really about, you know, again, I've done videos on this, on status and attraction and that playlist I was telling you about. But I really learned this firsthand experience, right? And it was mostly just about me having the courage and the bravery to go out there. And just, there's so many things I have to tell you, like that unconscious communication, right, is 90% of communication is nonverbal. And so what you believe about a situation, right, and how you communicate that in your looks and what you say, right, before you even say anything, just your micro expressions that you have in your face. And so you got to have the confidence, right? That's what's going to get you what you want in life. So again, I don't know, dude. I don't know what you look like, right? Not everyone looks like a supermodel, but a lot of it is just your own conception. And I will tell you that, at least in person, and this might sound a little bit weird, like how you carry yourself and what you believe about yourself does influence how attractive you're perceived to be, right? It really does. And you can take someone who, I mean, if just for instance, so you could take someone that has the same genetics, the same face structure, same everything, right? And the one person is not confident. So just the way that they walk with their shoulders caved in, the facial expressions that they're making, right? All of these things tend to make them look worse than they are. Whereas the same person who's really confident, who walks with their shoulders out, who has some swagger, right, has some style, they're going to be able to overcome that. And I'll tell you too, I mean, even this works for women, right? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but like, have you ever been to like a nightclub like in Vegas or, you know, somewhere where women are all super dressed up with makeup and you know, and high heels and, you know, tight dresses? They look a lot hotter than they actually are. You see what I'm saying, right? Like on an average day, they might not, you might not notice them, but damn, they're looking fucking stellar and stunning there. And so you've got that same capability, dude. Like we all do. Like you just got to put the work into your appearance as much as you can, and then from there, you know, I mean, genetics is genetics. You have what you have. But you got to make the best of it, and it's going to require you to build your confidence, because that's going to be the most important thing anyway. So, you know, my message here is really like it's twofold. It's one, it's saying don't put so much emphasis on the looks, because you're kind of lucky that you're a guy, right? If you think about it, because guys, again, it doesn't matter. I can tell you from experience, I can tell you from so many people that I know in various communities that it's not about I'm not saying that attraction is that looking good as a guy doesn't matter. I'm just saying that it's a much smaller piece of it than it is if you're a woman, right? It's a much smaller piece of it. So you got to maximize that as much as you can. But then from there, like the 90% of it, or at least the 80% of it, is going to be what you portray, the confidence, your ability, right? The ability for you to portray confidence and status, which is what women are really seeking, right? I mean, you look at magazines, right? People Magazine and all these celebrity gossip magazines. Who reads those? Those are women. And what are they interested in? They're interested in stars and celebrities and status, right? They're not looking at like porno type of magazines, right? Whereas guy magazines are magazines with hot chicks in them, right? You know, Maxim magazine and Playboy and Penthouse and all these you see what I'm saying here, right? You can see it right there, just that social dynamic itself, is that the women, not that they don't have, you know, whatever women versions of Playboy magazine, but it's just not as popular because they'd rather know what a fucking star is eating for lunch because he's a fucking star, right? And I'm not saying you have to be a fucking celebrity, but I'm saying that you have to build your status up, which comes from having an inner confidence. So work on what you can, right? Like I said, the second point here is this, is that yes, do everything that you can. You know, you can learn style, you can get a good haircut, you can get good clothes, right? You can take care of your skin, and maybe I should do a video on that because that makes a huge difference, right? And you can do all these things to make yourself, you can build a good physique, especially if you're a short fucking guy, right? I mean, if you're a short fucking guy, right? I'll tell you this, right? I'm tall, I'm like 6'3", so, and that's good. I know that that's a good attribute to have. Believe me, I'm not in any fucking illusion that it'd be better to be shorter. Okay, I'm just be fucking straight with you. But I will tell you this, that it's much, much harder for me to fill out my physique. I gotta fucking really work my ass off in order to build up a good physique. Because the larger you are, the harder it is to fill out that fucking frame. I'll tell you that. So if I'm a short guy, I'm fucking hitting the gym really, really hard, and I'm gonna pump myself up, and I can look better faster have the better physique. You see what I'm saying? Again, at the end of the day, would I rather be tall than short? Of course, why not, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to kid you on this one. But I'm just saying that you do have some sort of an advantage, and you need to use that. So, again, I'm telling you, man, this is what you need to do. Maximize what you can, right? Fuck it. Forget about the receding hairline and all that. You can deal with that when you have to, but maximize what you can. You know, take care of yourself. Obviously, health and nutrition. Get buff, right? Get the right clothes, get the style, okay? Work on those things, skincare, haircut, all those things that you can control, but work on yourself, right? Work on your inner game. Work on, again, it seems like you're already doing that. You're approaching women, and you're getting out there and getting out of your shell, but work on improving yourself. Work on building up that self-confidence, right? You've got to work on that. You've got to work on your inner game and building up yourself, and that's going to help build up your self-confidence. And once you realize that, and once you can, exude that, it's going to make up for a lot of maybe the deficiencies. And not everyone's going to be a supermodel, but you can pretty much, I mean, think of it this way, right? You get in a nice suit and with a tie, nice, you're dressed really nice, right? You got a good fucking haircut. You're going to make up for like 90% of the, like, it's not going to fucking matter, right? What is going to matter at that point is going to be your confidence. And I can tell you from experience, I can tell you I've been a fucking fat slob. I've been, I've worked for a modeling agency before. I've been in between, right? I could show you some pictures that you'd be like, what the and I've been in both of those states, and I can tell you, like, one, that you can transform, and two, that some of it is so much mental, okay? And then three, that ultimately, even in one of those states, it's still about the mindset. It's still about, for guys, it's about the status. And so it's what you project onto the world that matters, right? Don't let the world project on you. Just some kids picked on you in high school. Fuck that. It doesn't matter. Don't let them control what your inner being is going to be. You decide that. You decide, and you project out. You make people believe your illusion instead of you believing their illusion. That's all about frame control, and that's what it's about there. So, anyway, my heart does go out to you. I understand. I totally get it. But this is what you got. And you got to do the best with what you got. And being jealous and upset about that, you have your own advantages, okay? But that doesn't matter. You can live your life that way, but it's not going to avail you much. Instead, you just got to fucking suck it up and say, you know what? I got what I got. I'm going to do the best that I can with it, and I'm going to figure out how to make this shit work. And that's what you can do. And believe me, I mean, just by building an awesome physique, you're going to be able to up your looks department by a huge, huge amount. So work on the things that you can. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've named numerous things that you can do that will make a huge difference. If you're doing all of those things, right, and you've built up yourself and you've built up your stats and you're still not having success, then let's talk. But until you get to that point, you got a long way to go, bro. We all do. So go for it and attack that stuff, and that's what's going to help you. Again, and forget about these ideas of jealousy and suicide. This is no good. Don't dwell on that stuff. Dwell on what you can accomplish and what you can do with your life, and that's what's going to be much more important. And I want you I'm going to leave you with one last point here. I'm looking for my clicker so I can stop the video when I'm done. But I want to tell you that, like, I've met some incredible people. I mean, I was just at a conference and I met this guy, okay, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants me to talk about him necessarily, but he was in a wheelchair, okay, and he was like, I mean, he had muscular dystrophy. He really couldn't do much. I mean, and it was, he couldn't get out of the wheelchair at all, couldn't move his arm, to flap his arms around. And the dude was like macking on chicks. I mean, seriously. And like his mindset was so, I was like, wow, man, this like totally blew me away, right? Because when I first saw him, I'll be honest, I was like, oh man, that must be a sad life, no sex life, anything like that. But he's telling me about, like, you know, I was talking about masculinity and femininity and stuff, and he's like, yeah, that's right on, man. Yeah, and he was totally had that mindset, and he was talking about some of his exploits and stuff, and I was like, damn, dude, damn, right? And it was all because he was, like, he had these skills. Like, he realized that he's in this fucking chair. He realized that he's not going to be like physically attractive to some degree to women, right? You know what I mean? Like as far as the ideal, right? I mean, he's stuck in a fucking chair. He can, his arms are like, you know, he can hardly move them around. He can't move his legs, right? And so, but does he still figure this shit out, right? So he figured out how to compensate for that. He figured out how to build an awesome personality, how to really use seduction. Like, I mean, the dude, like, seriously, I'm not even fucking kidding you. Like, I talked to him for a good amount of time, and I saw him in action hitting on girls, right? Like, I was fucking amazed by this thing. But I'm telling you this because there's a lot of people that are in worse situations than you, and they figure this out, right? They figure it out. And it has to start with confidence. It has to start with you saying, I don't care what other people have told me. I don't care what the world thinks. I get to decide who I am and what my value is and what I'm bringing, right? And I can overcome whatever the obstacle is. And you think highly of yourself, you project that out, and the world will believe what you're selling, okay? But if you think poorly of yourself and you think you're ugly and you think all this shit and you think that you're gonna look horrible when you're old, man, the world will give you exactly what you think. It will so confirm what you're thinking. Get out there and fucking prove the world wrong. Get out there and prove everyone wrong, and do it by improving yourself. Do it by believing in yourself, and by doing the best with what you can. For the jealousy, all of that stuff, the depression, the suicidal thoughts, all that stuff is only going to bring you down and slow you down and not get you to where you want to go. So I hope this helps you, okay? And for any of you that are struggling with this issue out here, and believe me, I put up that picture. Maybe we'll put up some more pictures of me looking like total shit. Okay, and you can see the difference, right? I mean, this is just at a physical level, but there's so much more to it than that. Like I said here. All right, that's all I got for you today. Make sure you click that subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss any videos. Click the bell so you don't miss any of the videos I do, because I do videos every single day. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.